This week you play a program with the Concertgebouworkest with Kodaly, Bartok, Ketting. But the first piece on the program is the Rhapsody for Viola and Orchestra by Kodaly. He's quite unknown as a composer. Can you tell something about him?
Well, Kodaly was a very close collaborator to Bartok, and he is the one person who actually made the Bartok Viola Concerto possible. Bartok was able to do sketches and finish the piece and write the entire solo part, but he didn't do the orchestration. He actually never wrote the score for the Bartok Fiddle Concerto, and Kodaly did the job. He completed the piece, and being a composer in his own right, of course, he knew very much the sound world he would create for the Bartok.
And what was he like as a composer?
His piece is my first encounter with his music, and I'd say, just like Bartok, he's very much taking inspiration from the Hungarian folk tunes, from the sound world that's just omnipresent in Hungary. And in this Rhapsody in particular, he makes good use of all these tunes and finds wonderful way of interplay between the soloist and the orchestra, singing and dancing being very important elements.
This week, a piece, a world premiere by the Dutch composer Otto Ketting. Did you perform music by him before?
No, I didn't, but what a wonderful man. It's a joy to have him around in these rehearsals, and of course, having lived a life in music, there are all those wonderful stories of him early on as a trumpet player, his father being a conductor, composer, of him then embarking on his own discovery of composing. And you can just tell there's a wealth of musical experience in this man, and I'm really thrilled to be first performing his newest piece, Trajecten.
Can you tell something about that piece?
Well, Trajecten is a stream of musical ideas, and I like the title, Trajecten, Journeys. So basically, rather than saying this is that, or this is the one picture or the one situation here, he says, no, it's fascinating to go from A to B and to be curious and take in all the possible landscapes or feelings and situations. And so we get 5 distinctly different movements with cross-references, and some of the movements just dance and produce something like almost a jazz idiom, something relaxed. And it oozes the feeling of life is good. Other movements, for example, movement 3, come across as reminiscent, as recreating a sound world from years ago, memories. And he actually mentions that it has to do with his grandfather. So he's trying to consciously recreate a sound world, nostalgia, and he's got the skill and the imagination to just keep us interested over these Trajecten, all these journeys. When we approached Otto Ketting to contribute a piece to this program, we already knew that it would focus on Hungarian music. And we all know how the Hungarian touch to music is always driven by rhythm and dance, just as well as tunes and that kind of feeling. So he took on board that suggestion, and of course, you know, composers being composers, he has to invent music. So we don't get a dance suite or something like that, but we do get the idiom. We do get the first movement, for example, with the congas and the Chinese drums, creating percussive situations, which is beautiful. And you know, we get the floating sounds in the third movement, but not entirely. There's also, particularly when he wants to create luscious string moments, we get all the space in the world, we get slow speeds, and we get the wonderfully sonorous body of sound of the Concertgebouworkest. And what he has done is really musical journeys in all departments. So it's not just dance, but quite some elements of dance are also in the piece.
Three Hungarian composers and one Dutchman. How does Otto Ketting fit in?
Otto Ketting is, of course, a musical inventor, and he is perfectly capable of coming up with music of today. Let's not forget, all the other pieces in the program are older and not of our time in many ways, despite the fact that they are 20th century. And to hear a piece from 2009 is such an important ingredient of the program, and we just had to do it.